This is CTV News with Nafisa Karim.
Found a boat, we found travel trailers, we found truck campers.
Vancouver Island's backcountry is a thing of beauty, but some people have been treating it like a garbage dump. We introduce you to the mighty team cleaning it up. Also tonight.
The line was pretty hard to see. Black line in dark water on a black whale.
The cross-border effort to track and untangle a humpback that was caught up in fishing gear in the Strait of Juan de Fuca. Plus, Adam finds out how a rare discovery in Metchosin led to a happy ending in San Diego. Later on the Sawatsky sign-off. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Illegal dumping continues to be an issue in communities in the backcountry up and down Vancouver Island. There is a group of volunteers, however, armed with mini-excavators, four-wheel drives, and buckets of elbow grease, who are determined to set an example for stewardship. It's the Vancouver Island chapter of the Four-Wheel Drive Association of BC. Over the weekend, a small army of them invaded the Qualicum region to pack out what others so carelessly left behind. CTV's Andy Garland has more.
A massive cleanup effort on Saturday in the backcountry outside of Parksville found just about everything imaginable.
We found a boat, we found travel trailers, we found truck campers,
mattresses, TVs. It was pretty bad.
The Four-Wheel Drive Association of BC organized the cleanup of the large amount of garbage left behind by illegal dumpers.
We want to educate people to become better stewards of the land, and by doing so we can create these events for bush cleanups.
From dawn to dusk, roughly 50 volunteers, including the 4x4 community, showed up to help with the cleanup effort.
We spend a lot of time out there with our families and our kids. A lot of recreational use of that land.
Neighbors to this backcountry, like Lucy Engen, joined as well and wanted the area cleaned up before the nearby Whiskey Creek Christmas tree farm opened for the holidays.
There's lots of families that come, and this is tradition for them, so we wanted to have them be able to continue that.
All in all, the association says nearly 17,000 kilograms of garbage was removed, and dumping fees at the landfill were waived. More than 9,000 kilograms of scrap metal was also recycled.
Try to keep our backwoods a little tidier so that we can all just enjoy them. Otherwise, it's all going to get locked up.
And that's a genuine concern for the Four-Wheel Drive Association. If illegal dumping continues, access could become restricted.
We always want to make sure we can continue having access to the Crown lands and other private lands on Vancouver Island.
And if there's one or two quick messages to whomever is dumping illegally,
I hope it reaches some people that have been dumping and stop.
Just pack it in, pack it out.
The association will continue cleanup efforts on the island, ensuring access to the land they cherish. Andy Garland, CTV News, Whiskey Creek.
BC conservation officers have captured 2 grizzly bears days after an attack on a group of elementary school children and their teachers. Officials say the bears trapped near Bella Coola have not yet been linked to the attack, which sent 3 children and 1 adult to hospital with serious injuries. They were attacked while having lunch on a trail. BC's Conservation Service says its officers are assessing the grizzlies. The first one has been fitted with a GPS collar and relocated, as evidence is inconclusive that it is the bear in question. The second is still being assessed. Witnesses reported seeing a total of 3 grizzlies in the area at the time of the attack, which conservation says is likely a mom and 2 cubs, and the search for them continues. Police are confirming 2 men were found dead in an industrial area on the Mid-Island 3 days ago. They were found at the offices of a logging company in Chemainus, where police taped off the parking lot and covered a vehicle with a tent. RCMP are providing few details, but say they were called to the area at 6 a.m. Friday after the bodies were found. On that same day, Mosaic Forest Management says it suspended operations when it was notified of an incident involving an independent contractor. This is believed to be an isolated incident. A deal could be coming between Ottawa and the Alberta government, which would have serious implications for BC's coast. The 2 parties are expected to sign a memorandum of understanding on energy and climate change that sources say will likely pave the path for a new pipeline. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver has more.
Another handshake between Alberta Premier Danielle Smith and Prime Minister Mark Carney is expected this week. And with that comes the conclusion of talks about a deal that will set the framework for an oil pipeline from Alberta to the BC coast.
Big picture, what we're looking to do and what we are doing is a series of major investments, nation-building projects that make our country stronger, more independent from the United States.
Sources say the Memorandum of Understanding that's expected to be signed this week will push the pipeline project forward and will necessitate some kind of carve-out from the tanker ban along the BC coast. It's also expected to scrap the planned federal emissions cap, bolster carbon capture, and change the industrial carbon tax. Many environmental groups say the cost of a new oil pipeline isn't worth it.
Definitely not enough is happening here. This is not striking a balance. It is not a grand bargain at all. It's a raw deal.
BC's Premier David Eby is also against a new oil pipeline. Eby says he told Carney today that if it goes ahead, coastal First Nations need to approve and the use of taxpayers' dollars should be limited.
My message to the Prime Minister was that either there should be a cap on the taxpayer dollars invested in this project, or there should be a prohibition on taxpayer dollars invested in this project, or if it is going to be taxpayer funded, that British Columbia get access to a $50 billion federally funded project as well.
Alberta plans to leverage private sector capital to get this pipeline built. But the MOU doesn't guarantee that will ever happen. The federal government says it wants the backing of British Columbia as well as Indigenous communities along the route. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
More from the Premier now with proposed changes to BC's Mental Health Act, which could bolster a controversial policy, involuntary care. At a news conference today, government officials said the proposed changes update a liability protection provision to better protect healthcare workers who provide involuntary mental health care to patients. Some argue involuntary care infringes on charter rights. The province says the goal is to help people who are so unwell they can't make decisions about their own safety.
The function of this section is to ensure that when this care is delivered, that the healthcare professionals who deliver it are legally protected, that they know that they have our support, we understand this is a challenging piece of work, and that they cannot be sued for delivering this care.
The province is currently in court defending involuntary care provisions in the Mental Health Act. A construction error on the Highway 17 Keating Cross flyover in central Sewage is being blamed for damaging several vehicles. The Transportation Ministry says at least 8 vehicles got dinged up after a grate cover came loose at the busy flyover. Well, construction in the area is ongoing, and the ministry says on 2 occasions a contractor put down temporary lane lines which put a catch basin and its cover in the path of travel. Repeated vehicle crossings likely loosened the cover, damaging some vehicles. Drivers can seek compensation through the province's highway-related claims webpage. The Capital Regional District's sewage system is still operating at a reduced capacity after a blockage was removed late last week. The blockage in the residual solids conveyance line was found in a pipe below the TCH near the Mackenzie interchange. Some flow has been restored, and the CRD says its crews are assessing the system to make sure there aren't any problems. While it's being evaluated, trucks may still need to transport waste through Victoria, Saanich, Esquimalt, and View Royal to disposal sites. CRD says it could be noisy and stinky. A rescue squad is relieved their efforts helped prevent a humpback whale from making an annual migration tangled up in 42 meters of fishing gear. Last week, a mariner spotted 2 humpback whales near Pender Island, one of which had a long line and buoy trailing behind her. American teams responded and attached a tracker to follow its movements overnight. The whale, known as Eugenia, ended up in Canadian waters near Jordan River, and it looked like she could be starting her migration to Hawaii. When responders got there, they found the tracker buoy floating on the surface along with the gear the whale had been tangled in. They think drag from the tracker buoy helped pull that gear off.
There's over 20 cases where we've showed up and to the gear, the satellite buoy, and there's been all the entangling gear on it, and that's along the U.S. West Coast, East Coast, and Alaska and Hawaii. So a lot of it happens a lot more than we think. It is the easiest way and safest way to do it. You don't have to get up close and try and make cuts on the gear, so it's a great outcome.
Canadian teams weren't available for the response, but gave the go-ahead for American crews to work in Canadian waters. CFAX Santa's Anonymous says it is struggling with financial donations to put food on the table for kids this holiday season. This time last year, the charity had 70% more financial donations. The executive director says they've committed hampers full of fresh food to 1,200 families. It costs roughly $360,000 to make that happen.
Every dollar counts. That's the most important message. It isn't just large donations. It's when we all come together, we can make a really big difference. For 48 years, this charity has been front and center at Christmas time, helping local families. And when you check every day just to see if some more donations have come in and they haven't, you worry.
Santa's thinks economic hardship could be playing a role in the decline. Virgin Radio's annual cash and toy drive, Toy Mountain, is back at Uptown December 4th to 11th in support of Santa's. You can also support Santa's online at cfaxsantas.com or at Miracle on Uptown Boulevard December 12th. Well, Santa's Anonymous isn't the only charity seeing a drop in donations. Food banks around the province have similar concerns amid rising demand. Food Banks BC blames a cost of living crisis in our province, making it harder for people to give. And also happening, they say, past donors are becoming clients. In the last year, Food Banks BC says local branches, through financial donations, are having to pay for more food to give out due to increased demand. And even with those added costs, 66% still have to give out less food to those in need, as there's not enough to go around.
These are heartbreaking decisions for food banks because they don't want to be giving out less food. They don't want to be reducing the number of service windows to provide support to their clients. But these are the decisions that they're having to make because it's just too difficult to keep up with the demand.
If we wanted to lay it at the feet of someone or something, it's not Trump and it's not tariffs. It's the productivity gap in Canada. For about 30 years now, productivity, which is the greatest measure of standard of living, has been flat to falling.
A Canadian economist says more business competition in Canada would help improve the situation. Food Banks BC says it's also in talks with the province about supports and priorities heading into the budget. Coming up, a cool $3.6 million for hospitals on southern Vancouver Island.
This is a new age of advanced oncology treatments and innovative robotic technologies.
How the money will help advance cancer care and hire robo-surgeons.
A little bit cooler than the weekend, 7 degrees right now in Victoria under mostly cloudy skies. We saw daytime highs of 11 Saturday, Sunday. Should see another day in the 8 or 9 range tomorrow. We'll take a closer look at that and the rain on the way in just a few minutes.
CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Make the most of your next trip by booking with those who've been there. Visit expediacruises.ca.
What makes West Shore Parks and Recreation a perfect place to play? It's our staff, working behind the scenes to keep the pool safe, kids engaged, and programs thriving. So apply today and join our team.
Josh, it occurred to me that today is the 24th of November. We're going to be talking about Christmas in like a month. And it's cooling down. It's like winter is coming. It's all happening so fast. I'm not ready for it.
I have a feeling we'll be talking about Christmas a little sooner than just a month from now. But you're right. It will be Christmas Eve in exactly 1 month. Temperatures through the weekend, not bad. A couple of degrees above average, 11 degrees for daytime highs. It did cool down a little bit today. I just looked at the numbers. Officially 9 for a daytime high today. We're at 8 right now in Victoria. 6 is Nanaimo, Port Alberni, Comox, Port Hardy's at 5 degrees. So it did cool off across most of the island through the course of the day today. We've had some occasional scattered showers, but that's the system right there that will drop some significant amounts of rain over the course of the next 24 to 36 hours. For most of the island. I think this already starts to bring some heavier rain here along the west coast, northern parts of the island overnight tonight. This is about 4 a.m. You get some snow and higher elevations, and then all along the coast, you've got rain. Now, in Victoria, it's probably no more than maybe 5 to 10 millimeters worth of rain, but you could see some pockets along the west coast where you're dealing with 20 to 40 millimeters, and there's actually later in the week another wash of some heavier rain that will come through. By late in the day tomorrow, most of the heavy, steady rain is out of here, but still a few scattered showers in and around Tofino and up around Port Hardy as well. Windy in the north to go along with all the rain. Gusts to about 60 kilometers per hour, high of 7 tomorrow. 8s for Wednesday, Thursday, a break Wednesday, and then some rain Thursday morning. And that actually could be some fairly heavy, steady rain through the first half of the day Thursday. That goes for inland sections of the island as well. Rain tomorrow, snow at higher elevations, 5 degrees tomorrow. And then Wednesday through the evening hours and into Thursday morning, you get some steady rain. Could actually be some pretty decent accumulation, maybe 10 to 30 millimeters worth of rain by midday Thursday. Some more showers in the forecast. It looks like Saturday as well as we look ahead to the weekend. Windy on the west coast, gusts to about 50 or 60 kilometers per hour. 7 degrees tomorrow. 9 Wednesday, cloudy through the day Wednesday, but Wednesday late afternoon into the evening hours. Some rain rolls through. That should break by Thursday, and just a mix of sun and cloud for Thursday. Comox, gusty periods of rain, high of 6 tomorrow. Cloudy for Wednesday with rain starting in the evening and carrying through the first half of the day Thursday. And in Nanaimo, we'll see some rain and gusts to about 40 kilometers per hour tomorrow. 5 degrees for a daytime high. 7s for Wednesday, Thursday. Rain will start late Wednesday and then carry through at least the first half of the day Thursday, maybe even into Thursday afternoon. A little gusty in Victoria as well, high of 7 degrees. That'll be the coolest day we've seen so far the entire month. Gusts to about 50 kilometers per hour to go along with the rain. A break Wednesday, just cloudy skies, but then Wednesday night into Thursday. The rain returns, a little gusty as well, with a high of 11 on Thursday. So a warm up towards the end of the week. CTV weather is brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. So 1 month out from Christmas, and temperatures are still no worse than about average, Nafisa.
Now, where's the year gone, though? Oof. Thanks, Josh. Well, more than $3 million raised in one night. The Victoria Hospitals Foundation is celebrating that record-breaking accomplishment after their annual Visions fundraising gala. The $3.6 million in donations will help expand robotic surgery programs and oncology care at Victoria General Hospital and Royal Jubilee Hospital. This is part of a $21 million fundraising campaign which strives to secure 60 new oncology tools, the island's first neurosurgery robot, and a second robot like this one for gynecologic and pediatric surgeries.
This is a new age of advanced oncology treatments and innovative robotic technologies, fundamentally transforming patient care in Victoria and offering the level of treatment and healthcare that is not necessarily found elsewhere in Canada except in a few centres.
The Victoria Hospitals Foundation is getting close to its $21 million goal. Its website has a link for donations. Coming up, Moira's big move. Adam has an update on a story about a rare discovery in Metchosin with an endearing epilogue. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Finally, Adam finds out how a rare discovery in Metchosin led to a happy ending in San Diego on this Encore Sawatsky Sign-Off.
Sean Hutchinson is watching a video of who he now calls a friend who he'd once named after himself.
I jokingly said, well, we might as well name her Shauna.
But in the end?
It was Moira.
And in the beginning, when Sean was on his boat, Moira was an unexpected discovery hidden under kelp.
The head popped up and looked at us. Oh my God moment.
She was a sea turtle who Sean knew was nowhere near native to the area.
It would kind of follow us a little bit, almost like asking for help, really.
And that's when Sean remembered hearing about a friend whose wife was a marine zoologist and called Dr. Anna Hall.
I dropped everything. Sunday dinner was still sitting on the counter. I just left.
The turtle was far from its more tropical home, only the second ever sighted in BC, and suffering from severe hypothermia.
It sort of looked like a creature that was moving toward the end of its life.
So Anna raced to orchestrate a rescue at sea, while more volunteers scrambled to borrow a wheelbarrow and secure cushions to create a carrier for the creature on land.
Sure enough, a wheelbarrow does fit in the back of my car with a large sea turtle in it.
During the 5-hour journey from Vancouver Island to the Vancouver Aquarium, Sean sat in the back, keeping Moira hydrated, and staff at BC Ferries stepped up to ensure the turtle got on the first available ship to the mainland, before being rehabilitated over the past 8 months by a team from the Marine Mammal Rescue Center who named her Moira.
Everybody was so happy that the turtle had made it to the people who know how to care for her.
And today, the first caring person Moira met is watching the final footage of the turtle being assessed at SeaWorld in San Diego and equipped with a tracker to monitor her safety before finally being released into the wild.
It's humbling to finally know she's back in the wild where she belongs, and that it was a full inspirational story.
A story with an enduring epilogue now that Sean and his wife are expecting a baby girl.
I mentioned we should name her Moira, but it's up for discussion right now.
And while Sean is thankful for all the turtle toys they received at the baby shower, the greatest gift is knowing that Moira is back home. Adam Swatsky, CTV News, Saanich.
That is it for CTV News, Vancouver Island. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night. Today on CTV News, is it time to bring back the grizzly hunt?
The ban was science-based, and we will continue to look at those policy questions in the coming weeks.
Calls to end the ban after last week's terrifying attack on students and teachers in Bella Coola. Also tonight.
We did have police officers responding with their lights and sirens, as we call it Code 3, to the incident.
Officers injured on their way to a shooting in Surrey. What led to this crash, and was this latest shooting targeted? And
the line was pretty hard to see. Black line in dark water on a black whale.
Massive rescue. The cross-border effort to track and untangle a humpback that was caught up in fishing gear in the Strait of Juan de Fuca.
This is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We begin with a potential political showdown between BC and Alberta over a new pipeline. Alberta wants to build one and is expected to sign a deal with Ottawa on the issue later this week. CTV's Legislative Bureau Chief Rob Buffum joins us live from Victoria. Rob, we know David Eby was not happy that BC wasn't at the table in these talks, and now he's spoken to the Prime Minister about it.
That's right, Nafisa. David Eby said that he spoke this morning to Prime Minister Carney, expressing his frustration and opposition to this plan. Eby says that Carney told him that a memorandum of understanding over the pipeline has not yet been finalized. He told Carney about his frustrations at being left out of talks on the topic, especially since Saskatchewan's Premier Scott Moe apparently was part of such talks. Eby says even if an MOU is signed, something he acknowledges is likely in the coming days, it doesn't mean that a pipeline will actually go ahead.
I do not believe that Alberta should have access to a $50 billion taxpayer-funded pipeline unless other provinces and territories have access to similar amounts of taxpayer funding. There is not a world in which the current price of oil, a private company is going to step up and pay for this pipeline across the north. This is the reason why not one single pipeline company has said if the conditions are right, they would build it.
The Memorandum of Understanding is expected to be officially announced on Thursday, right ahead of the Alberta Party, Danielle Smith's party's big convention, so timed for that. David Eby said today his biggest concern, or the issue he takes most seriously, is that coastal First Nations be consulted, be at the table on this issue. He relayed that to Carney. I called the coastal First Nations today and was told that they will have a comment if and when there is an announcement on Thursday. Nafisa.
All right. Thank you, Rob. There are calls to revisit the ban on hunting grizzly bears in this province. It comes following a string of high-profile grizzly bear attacks, including one in Bella Coola last week that sent 4 people to hospital, including young children. A group of 20 elementary students and teachers were attacked while having lunch during a field trip on Thursday. 3 bears, a grizzly sow, and 2 cubs were involved. The BC Wildlife Federation is among the groups calling for a lifting of the hunting ban, which has been in place since 2017.
Obviously, there's other tools around mitigation, attraction management, bear conflict, but a number of places that, historically were opposed to grizzly bear hunting, we're hearing more and more from them now that they're really concerned, and there's having additional conflicts in the last couple of years.
In terms of a policy change, at this time, what we're trying to do is just focus on keeping the community safe and trying to locate the bear.
The minister says while the government will examine the policy in the coming weeks, it will not make any immediate changes. Now, 2 grizzly bears were captured in Bella Coola today, but so far, conservation officers have not been able to link them to last week's attack. They say they compared evidence from the attack scene to that of the first bear caught early this morning, but it was not conclusive. As a result, that bear will be fitted with a GPS collar and relocated. One woman has been injured after shots were fired at a home in North Surrey. It happened just after 9 last night on 101B Avenue near 121st Street. Police say the victim was hit by a bullet that came from outside. She was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
It may have, as we've seen in several cases already this year, be related to extortions. Now that link has not been made in this case. It may be related to previous or past residents of a residence, or it may be related to an individual's connection to other types of criminal activity. All that needs to be looked into at this early stage.
This vehicle was also involved in a crash while on the way to the scene of the shooting. Police say the SUV had its lights and sirens activated when it was hit by another vehicle on 96th Avenue near 125th. 2 officers were taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The people in the other vehicle were unhurt. The search for a missing Surrey senior on Grouse Mountain resumed this weekend, but there's still no sign of Won-Kil Kim. This is video from North Shore Rescue. You can see a helicopter team touching down in the area. The search for the 84-year-old Kim first got underway 1 week ago after he had gone missing while hiking the mountain's trails a day earlier. Surveillance video last captured Kim on the Dam Little Goat Alpine Trail. Kim is described as a 5'5" Korean man weighing around 140 pounds. After the break, the cross-border effort to untangle a migrating humpback whale. But first, talk about a nail-biter.
Matthias Laborda against Hugo Lloris to send Vancouver to the conference final.
It came down to a shootout on a history-making night for the Vancouver Whitecaps. The Fandemonium, and what's next for the club's playoff journey?
Au deuxième poteau, il y a Cristiano. Nawaf pour Cristiano, peut-être le 6.
Global superstar Cristiano Ronaldo pulled off another incredible goal for his extensive highlight reel. The 40-year-old rolled back the clock with this absurd bicycle kick goal, proving that age is just a number. And speaking of numbers, that was goal number 954, his record career. The Vancouver Whitecaps will soon learn who they'll be playing against in the next round of the MLS playoffs after they eliminated LAFC in a thrilling shootout in front of nearly 54,000 delirious fans at BC Place. CTV's Ben Milger has more on the electric atmosphere that helped propel the team to victory.
These fans went on a roller coaster of emotions Saturday, at times amazed, perplexed, and finally euphoric as the Whitecaps and LAFC waged a playoff duel for the ages.
I didn't really know what to expect, so we definitely got our money's worth, though. It went to extra time, penalties, so it was a good show.
The Whitecaps opened the scoring with keeper Yohei Takaoka delivering a long ball over the top to Emmanuel Sabi, who chips it in. To end the half, it was Matthias Laborda pouncing on a rebound and putting it in through the goalie's legs. A sense of optimism in the stadium gave way to dread as LA pulled within one, setting up an improbable finish.
It's not to be believed. I think if you had written it and submitted it to a Hollywood producer, they'd be like, nope, not believable. Sorry, we can't go with that.
In added time, Tristan Blackman, already on a yellow card, gets booked again and sent off. On the ensuing free kick, Sun Heung-min curls a brilliant strike into the top corner, leveling the score at 2. An injury in overtime reduced the Caps to 9 players against LA's 11. Attacking in waves, the visitors hit both posts and the crossbar in one wild sequence. But the Caps survived to the shootout, where Laborda stepped up with a chance to be the hero. He delivered in the biggest moments, kicking off a party lasting well into the night.
It was a glorious night, and it was also, I would say, an exclamation mark about what this club means for the city, for the people in the city.
The other Western semifinal gets underway at 7 o'clock tonight. If San Diego wins, the Caps will head down to California for Saturday's Western Conference final. If Minnesota wins tonight, the Whitecaps will host the next game at BC Place. But if you want tickets, act fast. It's already sold out, and prices on the resale market are only going up between now and Saturday. Ben Milger, CTV News, Vancouver.
Back with shorthanded. Tacoma scores!
And then there's the Vancouver Canucks. The Calgary Flames scored 5 straight goals last night, cruising to a 5-2 road win. Canucks have now lost 3 in a row and 6 of their last 7. Next up, the Ducks in Anaheim on Wednesday night. A rescue squad was able to untangle a humpback whale from 42 meters of fishing gear before it set off on its annual migration. Last week, a mariner spotted 2 humpback whales near Pender Island, one of which had a long line and a buoy trailing behind her. American teams responded and attached a tracker buoy to follow its movements overnight. The whale, known as Eugenia, ended up in Canadian waters near Jordan River, and it looked like she could be starting her migration to Hawaii. When responders got there, they found the tracker buoy floating on the surface along with the gear the whale had been tangled in. Well, they think drag from the tracker buoy helped pull that gear off.
There's over 20 cases where we've showed up and to the gear, the satellite buoy, and there's been all the entangling gear on it, and that's along the U.S. West Coast, East Coast, and Alaska and Hawaii. So a lot of it happens a lot more than we think. It is the easiest way and safest way to do it. You don't have to get up close and try and make cuts on the gear. So it's a great outcome.
Canadian teams weren't available for the response, but gave the go-ahead for the American crews to work in Canadian waters. After the break, sharing the stage with Sir Paul.
It's very nerve-wracking.
The Ontario pipe band that got to rock out with Paul McCartney. Plus, Anne's forecast is next. Stay with us. Do not adjust your TV set. You are looking at a camera on Grouse Mountain where it has been snowing today, Anne.
I know, absolutely amazing out there. Yeah, wet for us, cloudy skies right now, but it's been a pretty wet day today. So another system offshore, and that is going to bring us, yes, more rain as we head into tomorrow. So here's a look at our weather tracker right now. We're seeing a few showers for the northeast corner of Metro Vancouver, Surrey, and Langley. Through the overnight, we will see dry up, but then into tomorrow morning, we will see the rain return, and it continues through the day, through the afternoon, for your afternoon commute as well, before it slowly dries up. For the southern interior, sunny breaks from Kamloops right down to Sewage. You're looking at temperatures between 1 and 4 degrees. A couple centimeters of snow for Nelson. Flurries clearing out of the way for Revelstoke, and a mix of sun and cloud for Cranbrook. For the central interior, sunny breaks for Quesnel and Williams Lake, a mix of sun and cloud for Prince George. Along the coast for Bella Coola, you'll see some flurries with a high of 2 degrees. For the northern half province, wet and windy for Masset with winds gusting to about 100 kilometers an hour. Periods of rain for Prince Rupert, light snow for Terrace, lots of sunshine for the northeast corner of the province. For the North Island, wet and windy for Port Hardy, winds gusting to about 90 kilometers an hour, especially along the coast. Periods of rain for Campbell River and Comox with a high of 6 degrees. For the South Island, you'll see winds gusting to about 80 kilometers an hour for Tofino, with periods of rain. Soggy for Port Alberni with light rain from Nanaimo right down to Victoria. Temperatures between 5 and 7. 5 degrees and soggy for the Sunshine Coast. Showers up the Sea to Sky Highway for Squamish. Flurries for Whistler with a high of 0. And for us across the Lower Mainland, we'll see light rain with 7 degrees across the board. Heading into Wednesday, it does dry up. A little warmer as well, 9 degrees with cloudy skies. Rain returns on Thursday, drying up for Friday with some sunny breaks in there. And heading into the weekend right now, looking pretty nice. A mix of sun and cloud and 8 degrees.
I'll take it.
Good.
Still early, though.
Yes,
yeah,
that's what I have for you.
Thanks, Ann. Well, Paul McCartney took the stage Friday in Hamilton, Ontario, with the help of a few local musicians. CTV's Ashley Bacon caught up with some members of the Paris-Fort Dover Pipe Band to hear about their incredible experience.
Crossing off a bucket list item, sharing the stage with Sir Paul McCartney.
It's very nerve-wracking, trying to make sure that you perform to your best of your ability. And you've also got another 27 people that have to perform to the best of their ability.
All that preparation leading to this. The Paris-Port Dover Pipe Band lending their skills to the Wings song Mulligan Tire, Friday evening in Hamilton.
When we finished playing the song and you got to relax and you got to look out into the crowd, it was cheering and Paul McCartney yelling Paris-Port Dover. That's probably the highlight. It was amazing.
The pinch me moment, the 4th time Gord Black and his pipes have played with the former Beatle. Before the show, the band welcoming him to the venue.
To see him walk out that limousine, just, you know who it is right away. And as soon as he laid his eyes on me, he started pointing. So I stopped playing, went across and shook his hand.
Like a couple of old friends reuniting, doing what they love most. McCartney is 83 years old, but according to Black, he hasn't slowed down.
It takes a lot of energy to keep going. But he's surprisingly still pretty fit and young.
With hopes of collaborating again in the future.
He doesn't look as though he's going to give up. It's in his blood.
Ashley Bacon, CTV News, Kitchener.
Well, cloudy with a chance of delicious. We've got your foodie forecast next. Plus, take a look at this. Not quite a wild goose chase for this police officer. A runaway stallion in a residential neighborhood. How the officer said nay to letting this horse get away. We'll be right back. Have a news tip, video, or photos of breaking news from your screen to ours? When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Email us at vantipps@ctv.ca or text 10400. Reggae pioneer Jimmy Cliff has died at the age of 81.
You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want, but you must try.
Cliff may be best known for his role in the 1972 film The Harder They Come. Its soundtrack, which included several songs by Cliff, helped introduce reggae to a global audience. According to Cliff's family, he died following a bout of pneumonia after suffering a seizure. An iconic Bollywood star, Dharmendra, has died. Dubbed the original He-Man of Bollywood, he was one of Indian cinema's most popular stars, whose versatile performances helped him rise to fame in the 1970s and 80s. The actor had been in and out of hospital in recent weeks. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi offered his condolences, saying the actor's death marks the end of an era in Indian cinema. Dharmendra was 89. Time to dig into the foodie forecast, our weekly segment on restaurants that are opening soon or closing their doors. You don't have to know how to count to 10 in French to take advantage of $10 meals at a new gastropub named Dix. The late-night lounge has taken over the former Meat in Gastown spot in Blood Alley, and everything on the menu is just $10. The owners hope the deals will encourage more people to go out with their friends like in the pre-pandemic and pre-inflation days. Vancouver's Little Italy now has a new Tuscan sandwich shop. Dante opened its second location on the Drive last Thursday, almost exactly a year after its downtown debut. The new Dante is just south of Napier, taking over the former Pizza Castle and Indian curry spot. Brought to you by the mines of Via Tevere, Dante is known for its schiacciata, a Tuscan bread that is large and thin. There's a big hole in Kitsilano's brunch scene after Chewy's Chicken and Biscuits closed its doors yesterday. Final service coming just days after the shop announced it had to ditch its location due to redevelopment. The owners insist, though, this isn't goodbye, just to see you soon. As they say, Kitsilano is home. Now the preview of CTV News at 6, me Jung Lee.
Nafisa, 2 grizzly bears have been captured in Bella Coola after last week's devastating attack on a school group. Conservation officers say it's not conclusive whether they are the ones that mauled students and staff, sending 4 to hospital. Now advocates say it's time to bring back the hunting of grizzlies before more violent encounters occur. And an update on the retrial of Kane Carter, the man accused of fatally shooting 15-year-old Alfred Wong while he was in the back seat of the family car. A year ago, the trial ended in a mistrial. How soon this new jury could start deliberating. And Premier David Eby is outraged that a Saskatchewan company has chosen Washington State over BC for a $1 billion potash terminal. The story coming up. Nafisa?
Thanks, Mi Jung. Scalpel meets cyberspace in a major medical breakthrough. In a world's first, teams collaborate across continents to perform heart surgery. CNN's Patrick Cornell has the story in today's. Take a look at this.
Check out this delicate operation done from thousands and thousands of miles away. Recent video showing professors sitting in a room at Bordeaux University Hospital in France fixing the heart of a patient in Xiamen, China, a distance of more than 6,000 miles. They're claiming this is the first ever cross-national robot-assisted transcatheter cardiac intervention. Professors in France using a remote control platform connected to that robot in China to guide the procedure, while a team in China monitored the patient's vital signs, saying they successfully completed a transcontinental transcatheter edge-to-edge mitral valve repair on a real live heart. The operation only taking an hour from start to finish, and apparently it worked well. The hospital reports the patient has been discharged in good condition, noting this could mark a new era for collaborative remote robotic treatment. Now, surely there was no horsing around during that operation, but this one had plenty of horseplay. Cops hoofing it in hot pursuit of a super fast stallion. Monroe Township, New Jersey PD say they got a call about the horse they've dubbed Seabiscuit roaming a neighborhood. Cops clarifying, we've altered his name to protect the identity of the horse, crying laughing emoji. The horse naturally took off when approached and an officer did his best to keep up, but cops also clarifying what science has suspected for years, he cannot outrun a horse. Real good try, though. A short time later, they were finally able to wrangle the runaway. The horse has been safely returned to its owner, and the officers have not Seabiscuit to thank for a very, very good cardio workout. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
Can't outrun a horse, Anne.
At all.
All right, a different four-legged story. A new top dog has been crowned at Canada's most prestigious dog show. A Pekingese named Prince reigned supreme at the Canadian Kennel Club's National Championship Dog Show in Ontario this weekend. Prince and his owner collected the Best in Show honor and a $5,000 prize. It brought together more than 800 dogs from across the country, representing 135 breeds. Look how fluky.
Yes, congratulations.
Prince.
All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot for tonight. A beautiful sunrise in Burnaby. Thanks, Gabriel, for sending this gorgeous photo in. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well. So email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
Suddenly I'm craving cotton candy, Anne, and I can't figure out why.
I wonder, the clouds.
Thanks, Gabriel. Mi Chung will be back for CTV News at 6. Right now, here's Sandy Ronaldo with CTV National News. Good night.